Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we'll be doing a press-on nail set. This is a carnival-themed Halloween nail set. We'll be going through each of these designs step by step, so stay tuned and I hope you enjoy. So the first design I did for this set was actually the skeleton carnival funhouse inspired by this photo, and I found out this is actually a real restaurant in Atlanta and I felt like it was giving Spooky Island. So I'll be using mostly gel polishes from my brand. You can shop at doperthanyournails.com. Link is in the description. I'm using crimson wash for the base, and then I mixed winter's veil with a little bit of a beige color. We're creating a giant upside down U shape and then creating these smaller triangles at the edges. Go ahead and connect that and fill that in. Then we have these bone pieces kind of framing the rest of the design. It's basically like a heart shape on both ends, and then you can go ahead and connect that as well. And the teeth are kind of a rounded square shape, so they're not a perfect square, and then we have like uneven spacing between them. They're different sizes. For the eyes, we're drawing two giant circles, and we want to make sure they're not perfectly lined up. It gives it more of a cartoonish look. And then we're drawing this spiral design on the inside. I kind of just take it piece by piece. I definitely cure between like all these different steps to like save my work as I go. Now I'm taking our golden hour gel polish, which is another really fun jelly color, and just adding that over. The nose is kind of like this elongated teardrop shape, upside down teardrop shape on both sides. And then we're drawing a giant black square on the inside of the mouth, and we're using this cat eye gel, and we're going to go ahead and use the magnet on that. This is actually one of our Halloween colors releasing very soon. For some shading, I'm using some more of our art glass jelly colors. This is etched ember from our summer collection, and jelly colors are really great for shading because they blend really smoothly and easily, and they already have that kind of transparent consistency. And then I just mix a little bit of brown with clear. I don't have like a brown jelly, and I'm concentrating that at the edges. Same with this black mixed with a little bit of top coat, using that along the teeth, and then using that around the kind of center of the mouth, which is supposed to be like the entrance to the fun house or like a mirror, whatever you want it to be. And then just top coat and you're done. Moving on to the next nail, we're going to do a carnival tent design, which is definitely an essential for any carnival set. Using another cat eye gel just as the base. Now using winter's veil to create these curved lines. This is the outline of the tent. And I'm going to apply our art gel in the shade Solar Synastry over that using our art gel brush. This is from our Valentine's Day collection, but it's really great year round. It has this really stunning rose gold undertone. And for the red stripes, I'm using our 7th House art gel. This is a really nice solid red, and the art gels have a thicker consistency similar to a gel paint, so they're perfect for doing line work like this. And this is just like an alternating pattern of like curved lines. I wanted to add a little bit of like a glow effect on the inside of the tent, so I'm using our winter's veil again. This is that same pearlescent white. I use this like every set that I do, and using golden hour on top of that with a little bit of etched ember as well. So as you can see, I'm using these jelly colors a ton throughout this set. And then just go ahead and top coat, and that's all for the tent design. Next, we're going to do a spooky Ferris wheel, and I'm using that crimson wash gel polish again. I applied a top coat and cured, and now I am using a sponge to apply some orange and white over that. A top coat I find actually helps when you're trying to do an aura effect. I feel like it comes out a little bit smoother, and it's a little bit easier to apply with the sponge. And as you can see, the colors and theme for this set very much include a palette with a lot of oranges and red. So this design includes a lot of small pumpkins. I'm starting with one at the center, and the key to this is really just making sure it's not a perfect circle and has a sort of dip at the top. You can also extend out the sides a little bit, almost like an elongated heart. Then using that same jelly orange etched ember over that for some shading, and drawing two curved lines and an outline to finish that off. We're going to draw a giant circle, which is like the outer edge of the Ferris wheel, and then draw another circle on the inside of that. We're basically just drawing the basic outline of the structure of a Ferris wheel. Take your time with the circle, draw them in pieces if you have to, and cure as you go. And these slanted, thicker lines for the stands of the Ferris wheel. Now I'm going to draw a spider web on the inside, so I'm creating these angled lines all throughout, and then I'm going to connect them with a U-shaped line, kind of like an elongated U. That's just like the basic structure of like a spider web, and then we're finishing off with pumpkins all throughout the edges. So here's a couple that I drew again, basically just mimicking what we did at the center. Just going to make sure it has a dip at the top and kind of extend out the sides, and then add a little bit of etched ember on top of that for some dimension. And then just using a black gel polish to ever so slightly outline that, and then drawing those two kind of slanted curved lines on the inside for the rest of the pumpkin, and then top coat and you're done. This was actually really fun to do. I thought it would be more complicated. I mean, there's quite a few steps, but if you break it down piece by piece, you can definitely get it done. For For the next nail, I'm using our Rose Solstice gel polish. This is like a dusty, muted rose color and kind of keeping in line with the theme here with reds and oranges. Now I'm going to draw a candy apple. I'm using this orange gel polish, and then that solid orange, if you haven't realized by now, is another unreleased color from our Halloween collection. It's perfect for nail art or as a base. And now I'm going to add some shading. I'm using Crimson Wash, which is that jelly red. So at first glance, you might be like, a jelly red over orange doesn't really make sense, but this actually blends really nicely because it's a deeper red. And for a little bit of lighter shading, I'm using Etched Ember, which is that fiery orange. So these two together actually create a really nice blend and add some really nice warmth and glow. I'm actually concentrating a little bit more of that Crimson Wash at the edges. Now underneath, we're going to use that same orange color to create a little bit of a shadow or just kind of add some more 3D effects down there. And then we're going to use that same shading under it. I'm also mixing some black gel polish with a little bit of top coat, and we're going to use that as well to create some shading at the center of the apple, and we're also going to use that underneath the apple as well. Adding all of these dimensions and colors was super fun, just like bringing this to life. And as you can see, it's pretty simple if you just have like a few good colors to shade with. It's kind of crazy how you can just take like a flat orange circle and turn it into this. Now we're going to draw the top of the candy apple. I used this kind of brown beige color, and then I added a little bit of a darker brown on top of it, and then I'm also going to finish that off with Crimson Wash. Again, that darker jelly red you might think at first glance doesn't work over some of these colors, but I think especially for these fall sets, it really works well for shading. Now for the pumpkin design, we're just going to draw a large triangle, 2 of them for the eyes, a smaller one for the nose, and then for the teeth or mouth, it's basically just like a bunch of slanted crooked lines like this, kind of like with the boxy shape. So just break it down piece by piece. And I'm adding that same cat eye again. This is also from our Halloween collection. I feel like this is a really fun way to add a little bit of unique and interesting effect to the inside of like a jack-o'-lantern or pumpkin. It looks really cool under the light, especially seeing like the different colors shift with the glitter. Now I'm just using some rhinestone glue on top. This is kind of a hack I like to do when I want to add some 3D elements, but sometimes I feel like if I sculpt characters, it kind of overwhelms the set. But if I just want to add some 3D like dimension and get the effect of that without actually sculpting, this is a hack that I like to use, and it actually really brings the colors to life. It really makes them pop even more, almost like a really shiny top coat. And this is a non-wipe gel, so you don't have to add a top coat over it. Now we're gonna draw some cotton candy. The theme of this nail was definitely like Halloween candy / treats. I'm gonna be using our Saturn Return art gel. This is a really stunning like berry, deep berry shade with like a velvety shimmery finish, and I'm also going to be using North Node. This is a really shimmery like Barbie pink, tons of glitter in it, and it has a thicker texture, so it's really great for like 3D effects as well, or even nail art. So we're just going to draw kind of like a cloud shape with the Saturn Return. I kind of just sketched it out. I wasn't sure how to really go about it, so I'm kind of using the sketching method here and just drawing basically like a sideways cloud shape, a lot of, tinier circular lines, and then I went ahead and filled that in. These shades can be purchased individually or as part of our Celestial Love collection. We also have some really great deals and bundles that includes these art gels as well. Now I'm just using North Node over that red to draw some stripes as part of the cotton candy design, and then we're going to use the same rhinestone glue method here just to add a 3D effect without actually sculpting. Another really great way, again, just to actually hand paint your nail art, but bring it to life with a little bit of 3D effects without actually sculpting. It can be a little bit messy. I try to use a longer liner brush and tilt the design from side to side to help it self-level, and kind of just float my brush on top and just kind of guide the rhinestone glue. And then once it's to your liking, you can just go ahead and cure. And look at how fun this cat eye looks under the pumpkin, another one of our Halloween colors coming out very soon. I love this design as well. Super fun for a carnival theme. Now we can't do a carnival theme without a clown, so here I am drawing the basic outline for a clown. We're going to start with the head. I mixed beige with a little bit of Winter's Veil again. Now I'm just drawing kind of that ruffle design around the neck. This one I kind of just eyeballed it as I went, so I thought I was going to stick to just the beige and Winter's Veil mix, but I ended up adding more details, and sometimes that's just how it goes. Not everything has to be planned out. It is art at the end of the day. So for his little hat, it's just a angled triangle, and then I added our Solar Synastry art gel on top of that Went ahead and cured, and then using 7th house art gel to add some stripes. The face has a few details, but we're just starting with these upside down triangles. 7th house again for the nose and the smile, and then using that as well for just like these alternating triangles for the rest of the eyes. Now I'm going in with just Winter's Veil alone and just applying that over kind of the ruffle design again to just really help the colors pop. And then I went ahead and added a pure white over part of his suit. I wanted to make half of it white and half of it black. I didn't know that I wanted to do that when I started the design, but this is what I mean by sometimes you get the basic outline down with kind of a neutral color, and then you can go ahead and color block and add what you'd like from there. Like I said, I don't always have everything planned out when I'm doing these sets. Sometimes things change as we go, and that is art at the end of the day. Now I'm adding a little bit of shading. I'm using that black mixed with top coat again and just gently outlining the edges of the design. We're just gonna go ahead and outline pretty much everything, including the outline of the outside of the face and the different parts of the suit. Now for the balloons, I'm using 7th house art gel again, and then I'm using North Node. We're just gonna draw a giant circle, but it's a little bit more vertically oriented, if that makes sense. And I'm using Saturn return as well. So we're just drawing these circles and then a little bit of a dip at the bottom for kind of the edge or bottom of the balloon. And then of course I had to do the rhinestone effect here as well. I think especially for the balloons, this is super fun. It helps make them more 3D without actually sculpting them. So I added that over all three. And then for the strings, I just kept it simple, black gel polish. Just top coating around that because the rhinestone glue is non-wipe. Here's how the clown turned out. I really love how the rhinestone glue kind of balances with the rest of the nail art. Just another fun design for this circus theme, carnival theme. Now we're gonna be doing a crystal ball design. So I'm just drawing the stand here. The different components of this, basically a elongated kind of widened U shape at the top and then a curved kind of rounded shape at the bottom. I try to break this down piece by piece and then just go back in and add more color as needed. This almost looks like a cauldron. We're gonna go ahead and round that out a little bit and then draw this kind of curly curved line at the base for the bottom of the stand. And then I'm gonna be adding a little bit of brown gel polish over that just to add a little bit of, again, dimension and shading. So if you just pick like 2 to 3 colors, you can kind of add a little bit more dimension and just depth to your designs. And then I went ahead and used crimson wash over that very lightly as well. Now I'm using our violet prism art gel. So this is another one of our jelly colors from the art glass collection. This is going to be our base here for the crystal ball. It's basically just a giant circle, and just go ahead and fill that in. Here's another shade from our Halloween collection releasing on September 10th. I wasn't sure if I was going to show this here, but I feel like on YouTube this is the place that I like to reveal stuff early. So if you're seeing this, you're seeing this. So this is Crystal Ball. This is a color shifting cat eye gel. It has a pink glitter under it, but when you hit it with the magnet, it changes to blue. So you'll see that a little bit here, and I'll show you under the light as well. These cat eye gels are actually packed with a ton of glitter, and they have a creamy finish, which is really nice. And an Aurora color shifting cat eye gel is just perfect for Halloween. Now we're going to add a little bit of glow around that, so I'm using Winter's Veil just very gently around that, and then more jelly colors. This is Glass Atrium from our art glass collection, and then we're going to use Violet Prism over that as well. I know I've said it 100 times, but our art glass collection really is so perfect for like so many different kinds of nail art. And then we're going to go ahead and add the same rhinestone glue right on top of that. Just kind of concentrated around the circle. So I try to add like more at the center and then just bring that out to the edges. And this is how it looks. You'll definitely see more of this color in the full reveal, but just to give you a sense of the color shift and the blue in it, you know, inside of that like pink glitter that shifts to blue, just super fun. I've never used an Aurora cat eye, so it's super cool to add these to our storefront. And just very, very fun for Halloween. Now for the thumbs and the pinky, we're gonna do kind of a simple pattern design. So I'm using crimson wash yet again, and then I'm using that orange color to create a swirl design. I'm applying this pretty thick and just curing in between, and then I'm taking this blue as well, just to outline the edges of it. This is another color releasing from our Halloween collection. This is like a Corpse Bride blue. So the swirl pattern was just like a fun kind of accent design to the carnival set. So I did that for both thumbs. And then for the pinky, we're gonna do some stars and polka dots. So I'm using etched ember. We're gonna go ahead and cure that, 2 layers of that. And using that same orange gel polish, we're gonna draw some stars. So I basically draw them the same way that we did as a kid, like on our notebooks and stuff, just the outline of it, like the different points of it, and then fill it in. Then using that same blue color, if you saw my Corpse Bride set, this is that same blue. I think this blue alone is stunning, but with this orange, it's just super fun. So use that to outline everything, and then I'm just using that to add some alternating polka dots and top coat, and you're done. And here is the full set. So fun for Halloween. I feel like circus and carnival themed nails are going to be a big hit this year with the Halloween trend, so I hope you enjoyed. All of the Halloween colors you saw, we'll be doing an official reveal, but the official collection releases on September 10th, doperthanyournails.com, and a lot of the other colors that you saw with the art glass gels and so on are also available on our site now. Use code YouTube to save. And I'll see you in my next video.